So Dead Island 2 is set to launch here in a few hours, and some of the launch details, especially for PC, have been a little bit confusing. So I'm going to go over all those details as well as the launch times, and even dependence on platform, as well as talking about the New Zealand trick, whether we're getting DENUVO or not, as well as other character details and overviews from my previous video, and even a potential Dead Island 2 key giveaway. What's up, World Tripper? Back in with another video, and today we're checking out all things Dead Island 2. So first of all, just jump into the launch times and the launch windows that do apply kind of synonymously across all the platforms. So here's the map overview with the times and dates depending on your location, and again, this is the global release times. Now this should apply to everybody including PC and Xbox. However, there is another note here because the PC release has been a little complex, and there has been no word on if we're getting a pre-download or anything of that nature, but there is a lot of things going on with the Epic Games Store, and I do have a message here from the Dead Island 2 support team. So the message reads as follows: the game will unlock as a rolling midnight release. Once it's midnight in your local time zone, you'll be able to play. However, the Epic storefront can't update from pre-purchase to available on a rolling basis, and therefore will only refresh once at 3 p.m. GMT on the 21st of April. Players with midnight before 3 p.m. GMT will be able to play, but the storefront will indicate pre-order now. People with midnight after 3 p.m. GMT will see available but not be able to play until their midnight has passed. And they said, best regards, Lionel, Dead Island player support. So this is directly from them. And so seemingly if your midnight happens before 3 p.m. GMT, which for me it does because it aligns with like 9 a.m.-ish, I'm going to have a time zone calculator down below just in case you need to see. But essentially you'll determine if it's 3 p.m. GMT, and if it's past midnight already, then more than likely you'll have to wait until midnight. And if it's after midnight, or after 3 p.m. GMT rather, then you'll have to wait till the midnight has passed for you. So it seems like a pretty concrete release with a global release time, so I don't think the New Zealand trick is going to work with the PC release. However, it does seemingly still work with Xbox, and you can go ahead and search up the New Zealand trick for Xbox. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to showcase that in this video, but I figured I would talk about that because there was some people talking about it on the Reddit, which seems that some people have also been able to pre-download on the Reddit as well, which is another weird thing because most people can't preload yet or pre-download, or it seems like it's not up yet. However, there has been some people who have been able to pre-download, so maybe if you are in New Zealand, you're able to pre-download. And there's some stuff there with the Epic Games Store that if you want to, actually their policy does allow you to change your location. However, this is set in stone for the next 6 months, so you can only change it once every 6 months. And there could be problems with the payment processing and things of that nature that I really don't know because I've never tested it or done this before, and I probably won't do any type of trickery like that. So test that stuff on your own grounds, but I don't believe the New Zealand trick works, at least with being able to play the game early, but maybe with a pre-download, we'll have to see, and maybe I'll update down below in the comments if there's anything else that we hear about. Now, as far as GeForce support, because I know there's still people that probably still play on GeForce now, but they will be getting the game tomorrow sometime, it sounds like here. There haven't been a disclosed time yet, it looks like, but you guys will be getting the game sometime tomorrow. Hopefully it will be available right at 12 midnight, but it will be like just like the PC release with the Epic Games Store. It seems like it's going to be pushed back later than the consoles, especially if you do the New Zealand trick, although I think even people are playing on PlayStation right now as well. But in any case, it will be available on GeForce Now, and that should be out tomorrow sometime, either by midnight or some other day. And I'll try to keep you guys updated on that as well down below in the comments. If there's any date or time posted, I will put that down below. Now we do have to talk about DENUVO because it is the elephant in the room that everybody's been kind of asking. I've seen a lot of questions. In fact, it has a pretty high rated or high upvoted thing on the Reddit. So we did come to find out that they finally did just announce, because people haven't really been able to pre-download until right around now, that yes, the game does seemingly have DENUVO. And I think this was added after the preview versions, because for the preview versions, people were saying that the EXE was very small. Normally with DENUVO, the EXE size for the game is actually quite large. It seems like they pulled a Dying Light and kind of added it last second, or at least didn't have it in the preview version. But yes, the game is going to have DENUVO, although I've heard it runs really well already, especially on PC. I'm hearing it's running really good. People that played in the preview at least are saying it's running really good, and I just watched a few minutes of Shroud. He just hopped on the game. Seems like they're allowing some streamers to play it early, and yeah, it actually looks like it's running fairly well, although his system is probably geared up to the teeth for that. But overall, I have been hearing good things, and even PC Gamer, I think, rated it poorly, but they didn't rate it poorly for the performance, so seemingly that's going to be actually pretty good. Now, I also wanted to talk about my latest video because it's actually doing fairly well, and that is the which character should you pick? Now, I went over this in pretty good detail for what I had, and I also just created a poll this morning after the video, so that did go live. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to put 6 things down for the questions. I was only able to put 5 characters, and I also seemingly messed up the poll a little bit because I put Bruno and Carla together, and I meant to put Ryan and Carla together, but seemingly the results seem to be somewhat as expected. I'm guessing Bruno is probably the more popular one in that category there. And surprisingly, to see Ryan at such a high percentage at 20%, and Amy is a lot less popular than I thought. However, if you've seen some of the recent videos and the overview of the characters, people that have actually played the game, Amy seems to be a very underpowered character. Same with Bruno, whereas Carla and Ryan seem like super really good tanks, and Jacob and Danny really have that nice damage output. But again, I'm going to have the link down for my video down below so you can check out all the stuff that I fully overviewed in that video, which is all the voice lines, their backstory and lore, and their abilities, and some of their stats. Now, there's also some details around the FOV slider, and seemingly on the Xbox and PlayStation 5s, it seems to be around 70 to 100. Although for PC, I do hope it's a little bit higher than 100, or at least to 120. Even though it's not much, but I do play at 103, and so I do kind of like that range, although playing at 100 isn't bad either. And sometimes the FOV slider is kind of chaotic in the way they do the FOV, and so you really don't need a lot like that. But regardless, I know here for someone, they said that they're ultra wide, that 100 feels like almost like a minimum for them. So yeah, I do hope they have it to like 120, or at least it is a lot stretchier, or at least it acts almost as 120 field of view, just the numbers are kind of squished. I will preface something that I've seen in the Discord recently. I've only peeked in and out of there, but there has been a few concerns around the downloaded packs and the things that you can download for the add-ons. And there has been someone that was able to play on PC, or at least he claims that he's been able to play, and he does say that ever since he downloaded the add-on pack before the launch date, so this is if you're playing the game before the launch, which would be at midnight your time. If you're playing a little bit early right now, he said to be wary on downloading those add-on packs as his game completely broke and it said that he needed to repair. When earlier he was allowed to play, so maybe there was like a little segment there where you were allowed to download the game and people just kind of squeezed in. But it is weird. It seems like some people were able to download the game and actually get it on PC, and if they were in New Zealand or not. But then there's also an updated post here that just happened that they're in New Zealand, but it still says that they have to pre-purchase the game even though they've already bought it. So who knows what's going on. It could have been that short little window there where someone actually got in. But yeah, so if you do have the game early, be wary on downloading those add-on packs until the actual release in your local time zone. As far as everything else goes, that does about cover it for today's video, although I am curious on what kind of characters you guys are going to play, what additions you got to the game, and also I am going to be doing a giveaway hopefully here soon. I'm supposedly getting a key or 2, I don't know how many so far, to give away to you guys. It's not for this video yet, but it will be one in one of my next videos, and I will showcase that and talk about it there. So be sure to stick around and check out for that. But if you like the video, I'd like a like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.